What is up, everybody? It's your boy Young Fizz, aka Mr.Dopestaus on Instagram, and welcome back to another tutorial. So today's tutorial is going to be focusing on the enhanced workflow inside of the machine. Particularly, we're going to be getting into note editing, right? Using the pattern, events, stuff like that. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please do not forget to turn on the bell notification. So whenever I drop a new video, you will be the first person to be notified. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's tutorial, which is enhanced workflow inside a machine. All right, so the first thing I want to do is just load a sound. So we're going to go to browser and we're going to search through some sounds here. And there's so many to choose from. I can do load a project. I can do groups, sounds, instruments, effects, loops, one shots, so much to choose from. But I want to stick to groups for now. Find my sound. And if you don't hear anything, that's probably because that you have the pre-hear turned off. And what that does, it allows you to demo your sample before you even play it. But if you know what you want, then you can turn it off. If you don't know, then I recommend keeping it on. And I do that by holding down the shift button down here. All right, so I'm gonna go to my favorites right here. And as you can see, I have some starred. You can have it checked or you can have it unchecked. All right, so now before I even load a kit, the first thing I want to do is hold shift because I want to see what I'm loading, right? Am I loading my patterns? Am I loading my routings? What am I loading? And for this one here, I want to make sure that the routing is highlighted here. So if it's not highlighted, it looks like this. If it's highlighted, it looks like this. I don't want the patterns because what happens is if you load the patterns, you have a bunch of stuff already on the screen. And I don't like that. I want to start from scratch. So I want to make sure this is unchecked here. And then this routings is highlighted here. So now you just hit load. And so now I have my sounds loaded on my pads here. So the next thing I want to do is just make a simple beat just to kind of demonstrate the workflow. Now my BPM is at 120 and I want to slow it down some just to make a beat. So I'm gonna hit tempo here and then I'm gonna rotate my 4D encoder till I find a nice BPM. So I'm gonna be working with 97. Now what I want to do is I want to hit that again to jump out of it and turn on my metronome. To turn on the metronome, all you have to do is hit shift, tap tempo, and the metronome is now on. So if I hit play, you can hear it. So right now my pattern grow is on, but I can certainly change that by just holding down the record function here. And I can see my metronome is up here, so I can turn that off and on from here. Or I can select my pattern length. Right now it's set to auto, but I can select 2, 4, 8, or 16. So right now it's fine. So we're just gonna go ahead and program a beat and see what we come up with here. So shift record enables you to count in. So let's go. All right, so I just stopped that there. Now I want to quantize that. And to quantize inside a machine is very easy to do. It's just simply holding down the shift and then hitting pad number 5. Now that does a hard quantize, and I don't always do a hard quantize. So I'm gonna undo that by hitting shift undo. And the reason why I'm holding shift is because if you hold down shift, you're able to use the pad functions here. So what I like to do is do shift and do pad number 6. And I hit it a few times until I think where it's right. So let's turn off the metronome. Again, that's shift. And then you hit the tap button here, which is metronome. And then let's play it now. Okay, so that's sounding good to me so far. But you know what? Let's just say, I like what I did, but I don't like the whole thing. So I want to just select a portion of what I did and just loop a portion. So starting at bar number 2. So what I want to do is hit events. I'm going to go ahead and go up here and I want to edit this note here to make sure it starts on time. I'm going to hard quantize this, shift, and we're going to do quantize 5. That's going to be a hard quantize. Now I want to ask myself, what am I editing? And I'm editing the pattern here. So now what I want to do, I want to select the position of the pattern that I want to loop. So I can change the start, I can change the end, the length, all that stuff right here. So again, I just want 2 through this one here, just another bar length here. So I like that there. So now that's going to be my pattern. And so what I want to do now is just simply double that, or I can duplicate it. And while I'm in the screen here, I can simply double or duplicate just by hitting the double button or duplicate function here. So now I'm just going to double this, and that's just going to double what I just did here. So now I have what is it, the 2 bar length now? 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So I like that there. So now let's move along and add a hi-hat. But before I add the hi-hat, there may be something that I don't want to change the pattern. I just want to create a new pattern, right? So what I want to do now, I want to come back over here and I can just duplicate the pattern here. So now it just created me a new pattern. And so now I can add my hi-hat without worrying about messing up my pattern 1. So now what I want to do is just add this hi-hat, shift record. I'm going to add in a pattern for the hi-hat. Okay, so that is sounding a little bit off, if I'm honest. And what I want to do now is select and edit just pad number 3. So how would I do that from here? So I'm going to jump out of this pattern clip mode here. And what I want to do is I want to select pad number 3. So I'm going to hit select, and then I'm going to hit none to clear what I already have selected there. And then I'm going to hit pad number 3. All right. So now it's focusing on pad number 3. Now, if I hit shift select, I can actually select that and I can quantize that hard right here. So shift select, then I hit quantize, and then we're going to do a hard quantize. And now I have this here. Now, an important thing to note is it's going to quantize based on how you have your grid. So you want to hold down shift and then hit the follow button and then go to step grid. And then you can always change your different increments of how you want it to be quantized. So a bar, half, quarter, an eighth note, 64th, 32nd, 16th, however you want your step grid, that's how you quantize it. And you can see it's corresponding on the screen as well. So, but right now we're going to leave it into, I believe it was on 16th notes, and we're going to jump out of that. So that's what we have so far, right? So now I have my pattern 1 and 2. And when I said pattern 1 and 2, I'm meaning I have my pattern, my first option or my second option. So I can have it with the hi-hat or without the hi-hat. So let's just say, for example, you know what? Maybe you're grooving, the beat is playing, and you say, you know what? I don't even want the hi-hat anymore. I changed my mind completely. What you can do, you can hold down the erase function here. Hold the pad where the hi-hat is located, which is 3. You hit the start button or play, what have you, and it'll erase the note. So check this out. And then we're going to get rid of this one as well. We're going to select that, and we're going to just do shift clear. Now that is gone. All right, so maybe I say, you know what? I don't want the hi-hat, but I actually want these cool stabs here. So let's record something with the stabs. All right, so it's a little bit off. So what I want to do, I just want to quantize 9 and 10. So I do shift select 9 and 10. And we're going to quantize that a bit by 50%, move into place. And now we have this here. Nope. Then I also have my pattern. If I hit pattern, go back to number 1. All right, so let's get into what I want to talk about today a little bit. And that's going to be editing the notes inside of the machine here. So as you can see, I don't have my mouse with me. So I am forced to use my 4D encoder, and the 4D encoder is going to become your best friend because this allows you to really navigate inside of the machine. So what I want to do, I want to hit events. I could basically use this 4D encoder to go up, and maybe there's something. Let me just unselect this real quick. I'm going to do none. Let me edit we're going to say the snare. And I want the snare to be off a little bit, so I can just go over here and I just rotate the wheel. And the snare is just kind of hitting, it's too spot on for me. I want it to be a little bit late. So I could take this and nudge it over to the right, but that's a little bit too much. So what I want to do is I want to hold down shift and I can get a finer increment here. So I'm just going to nudge it just a little bit. Go to the next one, nudge it a little bit more. All right, so another thing you can do is change the nudge value. So if I hold down shift, follow, I want to make sure I'm in step, and the nudge, I can select how I want it to be nudged. So we're going to do an eighth here. Another thing you can do, you could use the encoder to make something longer. So let's just say, for example, I'm working with like maybe an 808 or something. What I can do, I can push and hold the encoder and I can rotate it. And now my note is a little bit longer, right? So if you have an 808 and you want to, make it to the grid, you can do that. Another thing you can do, hold down shift. Now you can select your playhead, right? Your playhead position. So let's just say, for example, you want to add another kick somewhere. So you have so I want to go back to my kick right here, and I want to, copy this. So shift copy, then I can paste it, and it goes right there. And as you can see, when I'm in events, I can adjust my velocity right here. Can change the pitch. All right, so there's so many different things that you can do inside of the machine here. So I'm going to add one more sound here. So that's a little bit loud. I can go to my mixer and I can turn that down. So now what I want to do, I want to double what I'm doing now. So I'm going to go to pattern, and then I'm going to hit the double button here. So the reason why I want to do this is because that chime sound is hitting on every 2 bars, but instead I wanted to hit 1 every 4. So now I just extended my pattern, and now what I can do, I can come back over here to events, and we're going to erase that note that we did over here. So we're going to hit play, and then we're going to hold down the erase, and then it's going to erase that second chime here. All right, so that is pretty much how you do that there. Another thing I like doing, sometimes I like to see my mixer on the big screen. And so to do that, you want to hold down shift and then you hit variation. Now this is going to bring up this page here. And if it's not pinned, what you want to do, you want to make sure it's pinned. So you hold down shift, you do variation, and then you want to press this to kind of like pin it to the top. You can do things like see your browser, see the mixer, ideas mode, song mode, things like that, or you can turn on the follow. So if you can't see everything on your screen, you want to follow what you're doing, you can do it that way. So what you just got a taste of is some of the basic functions of what you can do with a machine without a mouse. And I go into depth in my course, and that's going to be available in the link down in the description below. So if you guys are interested in just getting to the point, don't want to watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and I believe it's on sale as well, definitely check the link in the description below, download the course, and yeah, we're going to be dropping a lot more content. It's your boy Young Fizz. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the bell notifications. Follow me on Instagram, mr.dopestaus, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in, and we are out.